Zenio just on fire here today at the Intel Extreme Masters.
That's right. Those the drops in the bottom left and the Ling run bys in the top left just multiple times, completely taking apart Hasuobs there. But he has to cast that aside now. He has to not let that bother him, and he needs to focus on the next game in front, which is going to be on Metropolis.
All right. Well, our next map, Metropolis, this is one where we see a lot of Immortal Century elements, but that isn't Hasuobs' cup of tea, so we might just see split map versus split map on one of our biggest, most lucrative maps in StarCraft 2.
Lucrative. It's like they're all gold bases, man.
It almost feels like it, because when you turtle this half-half, you each so easily have 5 bases.
That's true. Well, we'll see if it gets to Mr. Moneybags. In the meantime, guys, don't forget, we still have a lot more Heart of the Swarm keys to give away. Follow IEM on Twitter and tweet us with the hashtag IEM as to why you need a Heart of the Swarm beta key. We'll be giving out to 5 every single hour.
Wow.
So guys, we're now in the game. That is going to be close by air positions here in the 6 o'clock spawning location on Metropolis, representing Team Liquid. Let's see what he can do in this game. Fantastic play previously. It is Zenio. His opponent in the 3 o'clock position, guys, as the blue Protoss player representing Mouse Sports. Can he come back? He was picked apart in that last game, but he is super solid. Let's see what he does this time around. It is Hasuobs.
Well, guys, before this game really gets started, let me remind you that we have a little contest going on for an Intel SSD and some Patriot RAM. And just to tell you, by the way, about how cool the Intel SSD stuff is, we actually, everyone here has their stuff set up on an Intel SSD that's a solid-state drive.
Yep.
And basically, you just unplug that at the Intel Extreme Masters and plug into whatever computer you're going to play on, because all the PCs are the same. So you just carry a little hard drive with you. It's kind of neat. It's a really good idea. A lot of terms should probably start doing that.
It's so good as well, because normally when people say, like, you just plug in a hard drive, you think, oh, right, so you take it apart and you plug it. No, dude, there's like a slot where they actually just push it in like it was a floppy. Oh, do you remember floppy drives?
I
that's
do.
Basically what they do with hard drives. So all the players' settings and everything are saved on those, and they just carry them around with them.
Yeah.
So good.
It's a great way to run a tournament. And so if you guys want to win that or some Patriot RAM, send us a photo of how you watch the stream. You know, are you watching it in your bathtub? Are you watching it outside with your friends? Yeah, who knows? Maybe you have a projector aimed at your ceiling and you're laying on your floor watching it.
I know someone that does that. No joke.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, anyways, check out intelextrememasters.com for how you can enter that.
That's right, yeah. So do email us your photos and, of course, tweet at us for those Heart of the Swarm keys. Lots of exciting stuff going on here at Cytex in Singapore. But for now, guys, we are here in the game between Zenio and Hasuobs.
Indeed we are. So, Zenio has scouted Hasuobs, seeing that it's a Forge-in main build. Hasuobs now scouting Zenio, seeing that it's normal pool timings and hatchery timings. So, nothing out of the ordinary here. This is all very, very normal.
And it looks like the probe is just going to be a little bit annoying at the 3rd, but there are 2 Lings with this as well, and they're just going to be putting that pylon to rest very quickly indeed. The DPS from that means it's not going to be up for very long. Both gases now being taken in the main by Hasuobs.
Yeah, everything completely standard. We're going to have to wait a little bit to see what Hasuobs wants to do. Zenio right now showing, you know, every sign of playing a normal macro game, and really he probably should. You know, unless he's really afraid of a very hardcore Immortal Century push, he should play pretty normal, because so far he's shown amazing ZVP skills. Maybe the best we've seen at this tournament so far.
I think you make a really good point there, actually. We saw, for example, on day 1, Zenio get pushed a little bit in his ZVZ matchup, but his ZVZ has just been sublime all week long.
Well, we'll see how he does. I mean, I didn't expect Zenio to get too deep in this tournament. I thought, you know, maybe round of 8. Could be a round of 4 if the bracket hits right. But the way he's playing against Hasuobs right now, I don't know if our Protosses can really stop him. I'd love to see him match up against MC, but of course he'd have to get to the round of 4 to do that.
Well, on his current form, to be perfectly honest with you, Artosis, I think there's a real possibility he could do that.
Yeah.
But Hasuobs isn't down and out yet. I mean, that's assuming he advances here. And Hasuobs is one of those players that, yes, okay, maybe he got outplayed in that last game, but he certainly doesn't buckle under pressure. He's perfectly capable of just playing like he was completely daisy fresh now, just resetting his mindset and coming back and trying to win these games.
That's very true. He's such a seasoned veteran from Warcraft 3 all the way through StarCraft 2.
And
so
he's gone for a Stargate.
He has gone for a Stargate, and I'm not too surprised to see this. A Stargate opening is actually quite nice here. It means he's not going to be doing an Immortal Sentry all-in, which I'm sure is refreshing to a lot of people. But in fact, he'll probably go for a third base. You almost every single time set up for a third base with a Stargate opening.
Oh, and he's going for a Void Ray first here. Now we have the Overlord getting very close to... Oh, he does actually see the Stargate, and he even sees that a Void Ray is incoming as well before he dies. So, once again, good clutch scouting from Zenio. It seems like Hasu can't do anything for more than about 5 seconds without Zenio knowing.
I know, right? I mean, Zenio is on top of everything. He gets every piece of information he wants. Oh, more than one Void Ray, you say?
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Well, this is interesting because he's not getting +1 with it. I feel like when you get more than one Void Ray, generally speaking, you are setting yourself up for a big timing attack, whether that's trying to warp into their main base or just a 7-gate with it. But he's getting a Robo and a couple gateways. So I wonder what he's getting 2 Void Rays for.
All right, so he's, no, I completely agree with you. I mean, he didn't get that +1. He's using, wow, he is getting a lot of gateways with this, though. But like you said, the robotics facility as well, wow, that's a lot of gateways. You've gone up to 7 gateways, a Stargate, and a Robo. So it has to be for a massive timing at this point. But, yeah, nothing coming out of the Forge, but he will have the unit production.
Well, okay, we'll see. Another Void Ray starts, so yeah, 3 Void Rays. He is going up to the 7 gates, and he's getting a Robo. Oh, okay. He's pulling these. So he might actually fly over with his Warp Prism, which will have 3 sentries and maybe a Zealot or a Stalker in it. Drop those off after chasing everything out of the main base, Force Field, and do a warping of 7 units with the Warp Prism. So I think he's playing something like this. This is a crazy strategy right now that Hasuobs is trying to plan, and if it works out, it's going to be ridiculously cool looking, and he's going to look like a genius. But if Zenio can block it, suddenly Hasuobs has 3. I mean, he has so much tech: 3 Void Rays, a Warp Prism, no upgrades, and it's going to be pretty tough.
Well, yeah, man, the investment he made into the Stargate and Void Rays, that is a sizable amount of both minerals, but especially gas. So he needs to make sure he does a lot of damage with this here push. And we do have the Warp Prison now moving out across the map on the right-hand side. The additional 2 Void Rays as well. Going to be moving towards the 3rd and 4th. Like, the Lings do spot the other 2 Void Rays, so Zenio knows he's dealing with a minimum of 3. And there are 4 Queens next to where the Warp Prism is going. This could be bad.
The Warp Prism might get taken out, but he saves the Warp Prism. He needs a big warping round now. Now these Queens targeting down Void Rays, but now going after these sentries, going after one actually that doesn't have a lot of energy, so Zenio messing up for a moment. A lot of sentries coming in, and if Hasuobs hits his force fields just right, this main base is probably going to go down.
Oh, and what a sick play here from Hasuobs. He is really making this pay off. The Void Rays just granting him cover so he knows when something is coming along. There are a decent number of Zealots warping in, though, and Zenio's going to try. And he needs to stop this with the Void Rays, actually. He doesn't want the Roaches to come in and snipe off those sentries. And, oh, no, the Broodlings actually pop out. And there's a hole. There's a hole. A couple is... Oh, wow, that was so close. Hasu, good reactions there, using an additional force field. And now he can resume what's going on in the main. But these Roaches are holding strong.
Yeah, they are. It's a good thing all these Roaches hatched up here.
Oh, dear.
Everything's starting to go wrong for Hasuobs. These Queens pushing forward still. He could target down that Warp Prism pretty soon. And it looks like the attack is done. Zenio has done it. He has held on.
And wow, Hasuobs in the meantime, he's down to 78 supply now versus 126. And he's queuing up about infinity immortals out of that robotics facility, Artosis, so he knows that he needs to pump as much out now as humanly possible. Zenio, those Roaches were really so clutch. Yes, okay, the force field was missed and the Zerglings came up as well, but Zenio still had units defending. Hasuobs couldn't exactly just walk in and take out the hatch, and that really is what made the difference.
Yeah, it's great that Zenio actually just made so many roaches in his main base. That was so helpful during that, and keeping all those queens up there, very fortuitous.
And sometimes when Zergs panic and like get a lot of roaches as well, they just select all their larvae, and a lot of the roaches don't pop from the main. And then of course that's useless because the force fields are there as well. So yeah, just really, really good that he had all of those roaches in his main base, and very, very nicely withholding that attack. And now Hasu is going to have to hold on with a lot of pressure incoming.
Yeah, there is a lot of pressure coming. I think he'll hold on just fine. The problem is Zenio has 4 bases behind this, and, well, he's going to throw down quite a few infested Terrans. But, yeah, this is not an attack if I was Hasuobs I'd be too scared about.
Yeah, he's just really testing the waters here to see exactly what kind of army composition Hasu has. Of course, those infested Terrans getting picked apart by those Immortals in the back as well. So Zenio knows he can basically sit here and keep Hasu contained for a little while. He's trying to take his third base. You see the pylon going down there now as well. And Zenio just going to waltz in here and check to see that nothing's going down. He will see the pylon, so he knows what Hasu's plans are. And he can just keep denying this third. He's also, behind this, taking his 5th.
Yeah, his economy is getting kind of out of control. 72 drones already, getting his Spire as well. He might just go for mutas from here. I mean, you couldn't fault him. He can go muta from here or infester from here. Basically what he wants, because he's going to have 3 more bases than Hasuobs.
And that's a sizable amount, man. You want to try and be on more bases, but this is actually going to end up being ridiculous. And excellent bundle. We're picking off a Colossus from Hasuobs as well. And we have a War Prism in the main base. But look at that. Zenio on top of it, immediately shutting it down. And oh no, another missed rally. A good fungal on the Colossus, but this time there are not enough Lings to quite pick it off.
Yeah, he has to be careful about losing Colossi. I mean, this is the unit he needs to come back, but we have 9 mutas on the way. So he is switching into Mutaling right now, and it's a great choice. Another little attack here, keeping the units down on this part of the map, picking off any stalkers that are possible. That's going to really help out with the incoming mutas.
He's keeping Hasu's supply down. Hasu does have a lot of, excellent fungal growth on all of the Immortals as well. Hasu basically wants to get up to a sizable enough death ball that he can just pop out of there, but Zenio's just constantly doing these little attacks. The Muta's actually engaging Stalkers at the moment because he's just trying to whittle down the army on all fronts, and it looks like they're going to win against this band of 3, but additional units coming forth. We now have another battle in the natural. Another Colossus is lost from Hasuobs. The rally point on that robotics facility is set outside his wall, and he hasn't changed it.
You know, this is a really bad scenario because even if your opponent goes 3 base Mutalisks, you need 3 bases to really deal with it correctly. But in this case, Hasuobs still stuck on 2. I don't think he will ever have enough units to hold on to every single front here.
It's very, very tricky indeed. We have a lot more mutas now coming back into the main base. 19 in total. And those probes are running for their lives, but not before a decent none of them get picked off. And now even attack going into the natural from the 3rd. The Immortals and Colossi are all here. A lot of infested Terrans getting put down by these infestors, and they block off the escape route. All of the Robo Bay units are going to go down at this point. And he is attacking Hasu. Oh, look at this. That rally point biting him once again. Hasu, another Colossus goes down. And GG, well played.
Wow.
Zenio really bossing
Is Zenio on fire right now? How far can he make it in this tournament? I don't have any idea. He's going up against Slivko in the round of 8. And as far as ZVZ goes, he might be able to take that. That's a crazy kind of matchup. And then he might have MC in that finals. It's a MC or Grubby, I guess. So he's going to have a lot more ZVPs on his way if he's to win this, and he just showed amazing skill in that matchup.